Hello again, chaps and chapettes. How are we all doing? It is lovely to see you all again, as always. Now, let me ask you this, guys. There's an industrial estate, right? Very quiet, very secluded. And up against the side of a building in this industrial estate, there's a white working class young girl, 14 years old. Accompanying this young girl is an illegal immigrant. Now, bear in mind, guys, there's no one around. It's very quiet, very secluded, no one to hear, no one to see. What do you think is happening in this specific scenario? Yeah, you've pretty much got it in one, whatever you're thinking. This animal is trying to force himself onto this 14-year-old girl. But have no fear, because just around the corner, there's some approaching police officers. They're going to turn the corner and see exactly what's going on. Now I ask you again, what do you think is going to happen in this certain situation? You'd like to believe that they would stop the attack immediately, stop this barbaric animal from forcing himself onto this child, arrest the illegal immigrant. Quite the contrary, my friends. The mirror opposite of what you believe should be happening happened. When police officers walked around the corner as she was being R-worded on an industrial estate, 14-year-old Jamie Lee Jones should have felt relief that they had come to her rescue. This used to be the general consensus, particularly when it comes to children. Say if they got separated from their parents during a busy shopping centre trip, or they got lost in the middle of a busy city centre, their first port of call would have been either to seek out a security guard or a member of law enforcement, someone to reassure them, someone to help them locate their parents again, someone in authority that they should be able to trust. I do believe, in certain parts of this country, that parents are no longer telling their children that. I think they are telling their children to either contact a relative, a family friend, and give them a mobile phone, just in case they do indeed get lost, because the trust in the police at the moment in this country is through the fucking floor, for obvious reasons, for obvious failings across the board for the last 30 odd years. Is hardly surprising. What is the point in a police force that fails children in particular? There's no point. I'll get to that more once I finish with this story, guys. But shockingly, instead of arresting her attacker, an illegal immigrant, they put her in handcuffs and arrested her for prostitution. I cannot see the logic in that at all. The very fact that police officers didn't question why a 14-year-old girl was on the game selling herself is beyond me. No child would willingly and knowingly hit the street corners and sell her body for money. No 14-year-old girl should even know what prostitution is. And to slap her in irons and accuse her of that is absolutely appalling. What they should have done is arrested that fucking animal, thrown him in the back of a van, taken that young girl to the police station, sit her with a female officer, something female officers should be used for, not frontline duties, by the way, is dealing with R-word victims, that kind of a thing. They will excel at work such as that. Sit with a female officer, calm her down, talk to her, reassure her, and ask her why she should be prostituting herself at that age. Because believe you me, she's either being trafficked or she's being pimped out by a third person. The police should have dug deep to find out exactly what was going on in her life. But no, instead, they demonise her, they arrest her for child prostitution. I mean, words literally fail me, guys, they really do. All for votes, all for the social cohesion, and all in the name of motherfucking diversity. The vulnerable teenager who had been a victim of a Pakistani R-word gang from the age of 12 was labelled a sex worker, told she was out of control and hurled up in a court. If I was her parents, I would be fucking incensed. I would be going on an absolute rampage. To hell with the law, to hell with prison sentences. I would start dealing with it if this happened to my daughter. My fucking God, I would be pissing blood. Incredibly, Greater Manchester Police also sent her name and photo to be published across local and national media, with a quote from police chief saying, "We will run young yobs out of town," despite having at least 2 reports of R-word against Jamie Lee at the time, and knowing she was classed as a vulnerable child at high risk of sexual abuse from Pakistani R-word gangs. Jamie Lee was taken from her family and placed in care, where the abuse got worse and gangs of R-wordists from Oldham's Pakistani, Kurdish and Bengali communities were given free rein to continue their sickening campaign of grooming and R-word until she was 18. But she got arrested. She reported 4 other R-words to Greater Manchester Police from 2011 to 2015, but says nothing was ever done, and officers openly blamed her for the sexual assaults. Care home staff turned a blind eye to the abuse, sometimes even dropping her off to meet the abusers and buying her a McDonald's so she wouldn't tell anyone. Absolute textbook grooming. Here's a McDonald's, here's a bottle of booze, here's a nice piece of jewellery. Shut the fuck up, don't tell anyone, otherwise we will unalive you. This really gets me right here, guys. It really does. It puts a lump in my throat. On one occasion, she was gifted a phone by a groomer, and the next day received calls from 60 different Asian males asking her to come chill and have sex with them. I think I've had enough of this story, my friends. I want to move on to the best bit. There is a silver lining to this story, guys. Now, I've just gone through the failings of the police on children, on the general public in general, over the last 30 odd years, arresting people for social media posts, etc., not doing anything about child R-word reports. I mean, yeah, utterly speechless. But like I say, there is one silver lining here. I watched an interview from Liam Tufts a couple of days ago from a member of a biker gang here in the UK called the 1%ers, I do believe they're called. And this member of a biker gang has been saying he has started up a kind of, I'm not going to say a vigilante group, but a group that is there to take care of children and women in certain city centres. They are recruiting volunteers now as we speak. I believe they are called the Shield, and they go around city centres such as Liverpool, Manchester, London, that kind of a thing, and they take care of women and children. Women and children go to these bikers. I'm going to call them vigilantes just for the sake of this video and to make it a bit easier for me. Women and children go to these bikers, these vigilantes, and report what's going on with them. And if these bikers happen to stumble across a woman being R-worded or a child being R-worded, they deal with it. Because the trust in the police simply isn't there. I've said in the past that vigilante groups will start forming in this country, and it is happening right now. I've donated to this Shield. I've donated to these bikers simply to help them along in this process because I am right behind them. Who would you rather have coming to rescue you if you were being R-worded and you were a female? Would you rather have some limp-wristed fucking officers who say, "No sir, please sir, don't arrest him because it might affect the votes of the Labour Party" and all that shite? Or would you rather have some tough fucking hairy bikers come to your rescue and deal with the perpetrator? I know fine well who I'd much rather have rescuing one of my daughters. So yeah, a happy ending to a rather horrific fucking story, my friends. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you the least little bit surprised at what I've just told you? I bet you're not, are you? It's just the world we live in now, isn't it? That's my video, guys. Thanks a lot for watching as always, and I'll see you in a bit. Cheers.